Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Jefferson nickels that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating history of a coin that has captured the attention of numismatists around the world, the United States 5-cent coin from 1972. Often seen as just a simple nickel, this particular coin is far more intriguing than most people realize. Stick around until the end, where we'll reveal just how much this 5-cent piece could be worth in today's market. Let's first take a look at the broader context of the year 1972. The world was experiencing significant shifts in politics, culture, and economics. In the United States, the country was embroiled in the complexities of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal was beginning to brew, and the space race was in full swing with America's successful moon landings just a few years prior. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was still producing coins that would go down in history as symbols of the era. The 1972 5-cent coin, or nickel as it's commonly known, was minted as part of the regular series of U.S. coins. At the time, these coins were being produced in vast quantities to keep up with the needs of everyday transactions. However, what makes this nickel stand out isn't just its design or the era it came from, it's the hidden potential that this seemingly common coin holds for collectors. Now, let's talk about the design. The obverse side of the 1972 nickel features one of the most iconic American figures, Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson, the third President of the United States, has been a part of U.S. coinage since 1938. His portrait was designed by artist Felix Schlag, and it's been a staple on the 5-cent coin for decades. On the reverse side, you'll find a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, which is also closely associated with his legacy. The building's intricate design is a symbol of American history, architecture, and pride. The simplicity of the design, combined with the historical significance, gives this coin a timeless appeal. Though the design has remained largely unchanged since 1938, the 1972 nickel stands out for a few key reasons. First, the minting process at that time was still using the traditional methods of coinage production. This means the quality of the strike, the materials used, and even slight variations in design make certain 1972 nickels particularly valuable to collectors. Over the years, various minting errors have occurred, and these coins are especially sought after by numismatists looking for those rare variations that can significantly increase the coin's value. What's especially intriguing about the 1972 nickel is the way it has evolved in terms of its appeal to collectors. Despite being produced in large numbers, some of these coins have proven to be much rarer than originally thought. You see, not all 1972 nickels are created equal. Over time, wear and tear from daily circulation have made the majority of them lose their original quality. However, finding a well-preserved nickel from this year is a treasure for collectors. The real allure for numismatists lies in coins that have been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition. When you look at a 1972 nickel that's been carefully stored, you can see the sharp details of Jefferson's face and the clean lines of Monticello in stunning clarity. These coins are an extraordinary find for anyone who truly understands the value of keeping a coin in top condition. The fewer the scratches, dents, or signs of wear, the more desirable it becomes to collectors, and in turn, the higher its market value. It's also important to note that some 1972 nickels carry minting errors, which can make them even more valuable. These errors are the result of slight mistakes in the production process, and they can range from small details like misstruck designs to larger discrepancies such as double strikes or off-center prints. These unique characteristics can dramatically increase the value of a 1972 nickel. In fact, error coins are highly sought after because they're essentially one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to come across a 1972 nickel with a minting error, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Let's take a closer look at the minting process of the 1972 nickel to understand why these coins, in their uncirculated form, are so special. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins in 1972, as they were used extensively in everyday transactions. The nickel was made primarily of copper and nickel, with a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This was the standard composition for U.S. coins at the time, but even within this seemingly uniform batch, some subtle differences would occur. As with any coin produced in large numbers, it's often the small, seemingly insignificant differences that make one coin much more valuable than another. These variations could be due to slight changes in the pressure applied during the minting process or the quality of the metal used. Such details are often overlooked by the general public but are closely scrutinized by collectors. The more attention to detail and care that went into producing a coin, the more valuable it becomes in the eyes of a numismatist. Now, let's get to the exciting part. What could this 1972 nickel be worth today? You may think it's just a simple 5-cent piece, but in reality, a 1972 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth a staggering amount. The value of these coins has steadily increased over the years, especially those that have been well preserved or contain rare minting errors. If you have a 1972 nickel in excellent condition, or even better, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of history. And now for the big reveal: a 1972 nickel in top condition, particularly one with a rare minting error, can be worth as much as $58,000. That's right, $58,000 for a single 5-cent coin. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection or looking at change, take a closer look at any 1972 nickels you come across. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. To sum it up, the 1972 nickel is far more than just a piece of currency. It's a link to a pivotal moment in American history and an intriguing piece of numismatic value. Whether it's the beauty of Jefferson's portrait, the elegance of Monticello, or the rare minting errors that make some of these coins highly sought after, the 1972 nickel continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. Top 2, we're diving into the fascinating world of one of the most intriguing coins ever minted in the United States, the 5-cent coin from the year 2000. It may seem like a small, everyday piece of currency, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with us until the end, and you'll be amazed by what this seemingly ordinary nickel could be worth today. To understand the full story of the 2000 United States 5-cent coin, we need to take a look at its historical context. By the year 2000, the U.S. had been through a significant period of change. The country was entering the 21st century, and a sense of optimism was widespread, despite the looming challenges of the coming years. In terms of currency, the year 2000 marked a time when the U.S. Mint was preparing for new challenges. The Mint was producing billions of coins annually, but the coin we're focusing on today, the 2005-cent piece, remains a point of interest for collectors and enthusiasts alike. The 2005-cent coin is part of the Jefferson Nickel series, which was first introduced in 1938. The design of this coin hasn't changed much over the years, but small tweaks and variations in minting have kept collectors on their toes. By the turn of the century, the coin's design was still centered around the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, a founding father whose influence on the country's development cannot be overstated. However, while the design itself remained relatively consistent, there was one key difference that set the 2000 coin apart from its predecessors. On the obverse side, you'll find a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, a design that has been in place for many decades. Jefferson, depicted as a middle-aged man, looks out with a calm, resolute expression, capturing the spirit of the nation's early years. What's particularly interesting about the 2005-cent coin is the slight refinements made to Jefferson's image during this era, with sharper details and a slightly more contemporary look. The overall design was updated in subtle ways to make the coin appear fresher and more aligned with the changing times, but let's not forget about the reverse side. This is where things get particularly interesting. The reverse features an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, a design that has been in place since 1938, with only minor changes over the decades. Monticello, Jefferson's beloved estate in Virginia, is depicted in great detail, showcasing the architectural beauty of this iconic building. For many collectors, the reverse side of the coin, with its detailed depiction of Monticello, remains one of the most cherished aspects of the Jefferson Nickels series. At first glance, the 2005-cent coin may seem like just another run-of-the-mill nickel. But, like many coins in the world of numismatics, there are nuances that make certain years and certain minting marks more valuable than others. And the 2005-cent coin is no exception. While the coin was minted in large quantities, over 1 billion in total, there are several factors that set certain examples apart. One important factor to consider is the minting location. Coins produced at different U.S. mint facilities often have small variations in their design or characteristics, and these subtle differences can make a huge impact on a coin's value. For the 2005-cent coin, the Philadelphia Mint produced coins with the P mint mark, while coins from the Denver Mint were marked with a D. Collectors often look for specific mint marks, as some are rarer than others, but what really makes this coin particularly attractive to collectors is its condition. As with any coin, those that have been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition are far more valuable than those that have been worn down through years of handling. A coin that has been carefully preserved and stored in a controlled environment can fetch a significantly higher price, and the 2005-cent coin is no exception. Many of these coins have been circulated extensively, meaning the supply of coins in excellent condition is limited, making high-quality examples incredibly sought after. Now, let's talk about the unique characteristics that some of these 2005-cent coins might have. While the standard issue nickel is relatively straightforward, there are certain variations that could significantly boost the value of the coin. For example, a small percentage of these coins may have been struck with errors during the minting process. Minting errors can range from misaligned dies to double striking or other defects. These error coins are considered highly valuable because they are unique, one-of-a-kind items that cannot be replicated. If you happen to come across a 2005-cent coin with a minting error, it could be worth much more than the standard issue. In addition to minting errors, the 2005-cent coin may also come in special editions that were released as part of commemorative or proof sets. These versions, which were typically struck with higher precision and often have a mirror-like finish, are much more valuable than the regular circulation coins. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, and their superior quality sets them apart from those that were intended for everyday use. If you're lucky enough to find a 2005-cent proof coin, you could be sitting on a small treasure. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? The 2005-cent coin, in its regular circulated form, isn't worth much more than its face value of 5 cents. However, if you happen to have one of the rarer variants, such as a coin in uncirculated condition, a proof coin, or one with a minting error, the value can skyrocket. And now, for the big reveal: if you have an exceptionally rare 2005-cent coin, perhaps a proof or error coin in pristine condition, it could be worth a staggering $40,000. That's right, $40,000 for a single 5-cent coin, all because of its rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. So, next time you dig through a jar of spare change, take a closer look at those nickels. You never know, one of them might just be worth a small fortune. Top 3, we're diving into a coin that often flies under the radar in the world of numismatics, but holds a fascinating story and significant value: the United States 5-cent coin from 1989, also known as the nickel. This seemingly ordinary coin has a history that ties it to pivotal moments in American history, and for collectors, it's far more than just pocket change. Stick around until the end to discover just how much this humble nickel could be worth in today's market. Before we jump into the details of the 1989 nickel, it's essential to set the stage. The year 1989 was a transitional period for the United States, both politically and socially. It marked the tail end of the 1980s, a decade defined by significant changes and cultural shifts. On the global stage, the Cold War was winding down, and the fall of the Berlin Wall would soon signal the end of an era. Domestically, the U.S. was entering the final years of the Reagan administration, with George H.W. Bush preparing to take office. In the world of currency, 1989 was also an interesting year for coins, especially the 5-cent piece, as it was part of a series of coins minted with designs that would eventually become iconic. The 1989 nickel is part of the standard coinage series issued by the U.S. Mint. But what makes this coin stand out from its predecessors is not just the era it was minted in, but the unique details and the state of preservation that can elevate it from a regular 5-cent piece to a coveted collectible. The 1989 nickel was struck at the height of the modern era of American coinage, during a time when coins were designed with both tradition and modern sensibilities in mind. The front of the 1989 nickel, like many before it, features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson is one of the most influential figures in American history, and his image has appeared on the 5-cent coin since 1938. The design, created by artist Felix Schlag, is simple yet elegant, capturing Jefferson's dignified profile. His likeness is accompanied by the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, 1989. The obverse design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making Jefferson's portrait a recognizable and enduring symbol of American coinage. The reverse side of the 1989 nickel is where things get more interesting. It depicts Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic plantation home in Virginia. Monticello is a neoclassical architectural masterpiece and serves as a fitting tribute to Jefferson's legacy. The design of Monticello on the nickel is detailed and precise, showcasing the grandeur of the estate. This design has been part of the nickel since 1938, and it's a reminder of the nation's roots in the 18th century. The reverse side also features the denomination, 5 cents, and the words, United States of America. The imagery is rich with history, tying the coin to Jefferson's contributions to the founding of the country. Though the design on the 1989 nickel may seem familiar, it's the subtle details and the coin's condition that make it valuable to collectors. You see, while the 5-cent coin was widely circulated, many of these 1989 nickels have suffered from wear and tear over time. Coins that were in circulation for years have seen their surfaces scratched, scuffed, and worn down. However, for collectors, the true value lies in those rare examples that have been preserved in pristine or near-mint condition. A coin that's been carefully stored or shielded from the rigors of daily life is a true find in the world of numismatics. As with many coins, the rarity and value of the 1989 nickel are closely tied to its condition. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or proof can fetch significantly higher prices than their circulated counterparts. An uncirculated 1989 nickel, one that has never been used in everyday transactions, is in its original state, free from scratches, discoloration, or other signs of wear. These coins are especially prized by collectors, as they maintain the sharp, crisp details of the original minting process. There are also certain characteristics and variations that can make the 1989 nickel even more desirable. While the general design has remained constant for decades, subtle minting errors or variations in the strike of the coin can create unique collectibles. These errors might include misaligned dies, double strikes, or other irregularities that set the coin apart from the standard issue. Coins with these types of flaws are often called error coins, and they are highly sought after by collectors because of their rarity and unique features. If you happen to come across an error version of the 1989 nickel, it could be worth much more than the typical 5-cent coin. One of the most notable aspects of the 1989 nickel is its composition. Like other nickels produced since 1866, the 1989 coin was made primarily from a combination of copper and nickel, with a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition has remained relatively unchanged over the years and gives the nickel its distinctive appearance and durability. The metal blend also makes the coin resistant to corrosion and wear, which is why well-preserved nickels from this era can maintain their value over time. So, how much is a 1989 nickel worth today? Well, if you have a regular circulated 1989 nickel, it's worth just 5 cents, as you would expect. However, if you're lucky enough to find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, you could be in for a very pleasant surprise. The value of a well-preserved 1989 nickel can increase dramatically, especially if it meets the criteria that collectors are looking for now, for the big reveal. If you have an uncirculated 1989 nickel, or better yet, one with a minting error, it could be worth as much as $43,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $43,000 for a single 5-cent coin. This is an astounding value for a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about, but in the world of numismatics, rare and well-preserved examples can fetch extraordinary prices. The 1989 nickel, though often overlooked, is a prime example of how a simple piece of currency can become a treasure over time. Whether it's the historical connection to Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, the intricacies of its design, or the rarity of certain minting errors, the 1989 nickel is a reminder of the hidden value that lies within everyday objects. So, the next time you come across a 1989 nickel in your pocket or collection, take a moment to examine it closely. You could be holding on to something worth thousands of dollars. Top 4. We have a truly special coin to explore, one that might not be on the radar of every collector but definitely deserves attention. The 1974 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, has a fascinating history and, for the right collector, it's worth much more than its face value. You may be surprised to learn that this unassuming coin could be worth an impressive amount today. Stay tuned as we walk you through its historical significance, design elements, and how it could be worth a small fortune. To start, let's set the stage by looking at the year 1974. This was a pivotal year in American history, filled with significant political, cultural, and economic events. The U.S. was in the middle of the 1970s, a time of great change. The Watergate scandal was dominating the headlines, leading to President Richard Nixon's eventual resignation the following year. Domestically, the economy was experiencing challenges with inflation and rising oil prices, while the world was also seeing shifts in geopolitics. Despite all these tumultuous events, the U.S. Mint continued its work, producing coins that would go on to tell a story of their own. The 1974 nickel, much like its predecessors, features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson's likeness has been a staple of the nickel since 1938, and it's still regarded as one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage history. But what's particularly interesting about the 1974 version is how it fits within the broader context of U.S. currency at the time. While the country was grappling with political uncertainty and economic instability, the coin's design remained a constant symbol of American ideals and history. On the front, or obverse side, of the 1974 nickel, we find a well-crafted portrait of Jefferson. His profile was designed by Felix Schlag, and the image exudes dignity and strength. The inscription, "Liberty," arches above Jefferson's head, while, "In God We Trust," appears just below, as a reminder of the nation's founding principles. The date, 1974, is prominently displayed, reminding us of the year this coin was minted. The reverse side of the 1974 nickel also follows a well-established design, featuring a depiction of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's estate in Virginia. Monticello is one of the most recognizable landmarks in the United States, and it serves as a fitting tribute to Jefferson's legacy as a statesman, architect, and philosopher. The design showcases the grandeur and classical beauty of the estate, emphasizing the connection between the coin and the nation's founding values. Along with Monticello's image, the reverse side also includes the inscription "United States of America," the coin's denomination, 5 cents, and the phrase, "E pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many, one." This phrase is a reflection of the nation's motto, symbolizing unity in diversity. Now that we've explored the design, let's talk about the composition of the 1974 nickel. Like other nickels produced since 1866, the 1974 version is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This alloy gives the coin its distinct color and durability. The 1974 nickel, despite being a relatively small denomination, has held up remarkably well over the years due to the metal's resilience. Unlike other coins that might corrode or lose their luster, the nickel's alloy allows it to maintain its integrity, making it a favorite for collectors seeking well-preserved specimens. but why should we care about a coin like the 1974 nickel? After all, it's just a 5-cent piece, right? Well, in the world of coin collecting, even coins that are common in circulation can hold significant value under the right conditions. The 1974 nickel, while mass-produced, is often sought after by collectors who specialize in U.S. coins from the 20th century. The reason is simple: as time passes, fewer and fewer coins remain in pristine, uncirculated condition. The vast majority of the 1974 nickels that were produced have been used in daily transactions, and many show signs of wear and age, such as scratches, discoloration, and fading. However, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1974 nickel that has been carefully preserved, perhaps one that was stored in a coin collection, or one that has never been in circulation, you could be looking at a rare and valuable piece. Coins in excellent condition, especially those that have been graded as uncirculated or mint state, can fetch much higher prices than their worn counterparts. Collectors place great value on well-preserved coins, as they offer a glimpse into the past and retain much of the original design's crispness and detail. In addition to well-preserved examples, there are certain variations and errors that can make the 1974 nickel particularly valuable. Minting errors can occur when the die strikes the coin improperly, leading to unique characteristics that make a coin stand out. Some of the most sought-after error coins are those that feature double strikes, misaligned dies, or off-center images. These variations can increase a coin's value substantially, as collectors prize these coins for their rarity and distinctiveness. Now, let's get to the most exciting part: the value of the 1974 nickel. While most of the 1974 nickels in circulation are worth only their face value of 5 cents, coins in exceptional condition or with rare errors can command much higher prices. The real value lies in the well-preserved examples or the ones with unique characteristics that make them stand out. If you happen to have a 1974 nickel in mint condition, or perhaps one that exhibits a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $53,000. Yes, that's right, $53,000 for a single 5-cent coin. This may sound unbelievable, but in the world of coin collecting, certain coins can achieve astronomical prices when they're rare, well-preserved, or contain unique features. The 1974 nickel is a perfect example of how a small, seemingly ordinary coin can hold great value in the right circumstances. In conclusion, the 1974 U.S. nickel is more than just a piece of currency. It's a piece of history, and for the right collector, it's a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether it's the timeless design, the connection to Jefferson's legacy, or the rare minting errors that make it special, the 1974 nickel is a coin worth paying attention to. So, if you have one tucked away in your collection or find one in your spare change, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding onto a small fortune. Top 5 and last rare nickels. We're going to take a close look at a coin that's often overlooked, but holds more value and intrigue than most might expect: the 1987 United States 5-cent piece, commonly known as the nickel. While many of us probably have a few of these tucked away in our pockets or drawers, you might be surprised to learn just how much they could be worth, especially if you're lucky enough to have one in perfect condition or with unique features. By the end of this video, we'll reveal how this little nickel could be worth thousands of dollars. Let's start by looking back at 1987, a year that stands out in American history for several reasons. Politically, the country was in the midst of the second term of President Ronald Reagan, and the decade was defined by significant economic change. The U.S. was experiencing a period of recovery following the early 1980s recession, and things seemed to be looking up with falling inflation and a booming stock market. It was also a time of cultural shifts, as new technologies, music, and trends began to reshape the American landscape. For coin collectors, however, the 1987 nickel represents a snapshot of American currency during a time when coins were still relatively traditional in design, yet poised to carry forward a new era of minting. The 1987 nickel, like its counterparts from previous years, features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson has graced the obverse of the nickel since 1938, and his profile remains one of the most iconic images in American coinage. The design was created by artist Felix Schlag, and Jefferson's image on the coin is timeless in its simplicity and dignity. His likeness is flanked by the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust," reinforcing the coin's representation of American values. Below his portrait is the year 1987, marking the coin's place in history. The reverse side of the 1987 nickel features a well-known design as well, Monticello, the stately home of Thomas Jefferson in Virginia. Monticello is one of the most famous examples of neoclassical architecture in the United States, and its inclusion on the coin reflects Jefferson's lasting legacy as both a statesman and an architect. The detailed image of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin serves as a tribute to Jefferson's vision for the country. Surrounding Monticello are the inscriptions "United States of America" and "5 cents," with the national motto, "E pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many, one." In terms of its composition, the 1987 nickel, like most nickels produced since 1866, is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This blend gives the coin its characteristic appearance and durability. The alloy ensures that the nickel holds up well to wear and tear, which is one of the reasons why so many of these coins are still in circulation today. While the composition of the nickel didn't change in 1987, the coin's design and production were part of an ongoing tradition that would continue for decades. So, why should collectors care about the 1987 nickel? After all, it's just a 5-cent coin, and you might be wondering why anyone would think it's worth more than its face value. The answer lies in its rarity and condition. As with most coins, a nickel's value increases depending on its preservation. Most 1987 nickels that were minted have been circulated extensively, meaning they show signs of wear and age, scratches, dents, and discoloration. However, in the world of numismatics, it's those coins that have been carefully preserved in mint or near-mint condition that draw the attention of serious collectors. Coins that have never been in circulation or have been stored in excellent conditions, free from scratches or other signs of wear, are much rarer and more valuable than their counterparts. This is where the true value of the 1987 nickel lies. If you have a nickel from this year that is in pristine condition, one that has been carefully stored and never used in transactions, it could be worth much more than the usual 5 cents. Moreover, there are specific features that can increase a coin's value even further. Sometimes, minting errors occur, resulting in coins that are unique or have irregularities that make them stand out from the rest. A 1987 nickel with a minting error, such as a double strike, a misaligned die, or an off-center design, could be worth significantly more to collectors who specialize in these rare and unusual variants. Errors in minting are highly sought after because they are one-of-a-kind pieces, which adds to their rarity and appeal. Additionally, coins that are graded as uncirculated or proof hold the most value. An uncirculated 1987 nickel means that the coin has never been used in regular commerce and retains all of its original sharpness and detail. These coins are the epitome of preservation and are usually carefully stored in protective cases to ensure their condition remains perfect. On the other hand, proof coins are those that have been specially struck for collectors, often with extra care to achieve flawless detail and finish. These coins are typically only available in limited quantities and are highly prized in the collecting world. While the 1987 nickel is not particularly rare in terms of production numbers, the key to its value lies in finding one that has been preserved in excellent condition. So, what is the real value of a 1987 nickel today? Well, it's not just about its face value. Most of these coins are worth exactly 5 cents, but when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, the value can skyrocket. In fact, if you come across a 1987 nickel that has been well preserved or has a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin that's worth as much as $49,000. That's right, $49,000 for a single 5-cent coin. While this might seem unbelievable, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and certain coins can fetch remarkable prices when they are rare, pristine, or have unique features. A well-preserved 1987 nickel, or one with an unusual minting error, is a great example of how a simple coin can become a valuable treasure over time. In conclusion, the 1987 US nickel may seem like just another coin in your pocket, but it has a rich history, a timeless design, and the potential to be worth a small fortune. Whether it's the connection to Thomas Jefferson, the iconic Monticello design, or the rarity of well-preserved or error coins, the 1987 nickel is a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. So, the next time you find one of these coins, take a moment to inspect it closely. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed learning about the 1987 nickel and want to explore more rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!